Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine, Steven Adler, formerly of Guns N' Roses, and Tenacious D were some of the icons available this weekend for a trio of events in honor of Ronnie James Dio. Celebrating the memory of Dio 5 years after he died of stomach cancer, Friday there was a celebration bowl, Saturday was a memorial, and Sunday there was a motorcycle ride. Morello talks about getting into Dio during the Black Sabbath era.
Well, first of all, my first memory is buying the Heaven and Hell album and thinking that there was no way that there could be a Black Sabbath without Ozzy that I was going to like, and being completely wrong. There was a Black Sabbath without Ozzy that I absolutely loved, and that stood up with the best work of Sabbath previously. And then I enjoyed all Mob Rule is one of my favorite songs and records of all time. His solo work I just loved. And I got to meet him, later on when I was an Audio Slave, and we got to spend a little bit of time together. And he was always a gentleman. He was always a very, he accepted praise with humility, and he always stood up for hard rock and heavy metal in a very unapologetic way. And I always appreciated that.
Tenacious D, who won a Grammy this year for a song on a Dio tribute album, talked about their favorite moments.
What comes to mind first, my first introduction to Ronnie James Dio was the Mob Rules. You might have heard that on the Heavy Metal soundtrack. Did you see that animated film?
Yes,
Heavy
I did.
Metal?
I did.
Badass. And went really...
Celebration for Death Star.
Yeah, and it went really well. That's true. And it went really well with the Ralph Bakshi animation. Dio it would have been cool to see a whole animated musical of Dio's songs. But also, The Last in Line, obviously, one of our favorites. We sang it, and it was on the tribute album to Dio. You're talking about Holy Diver. It's not called Ride the Tiger.
Oh, that's what you already said.
Yeah.
Man on the Silver Mountain.
Man on the Silver Mountain.
I like the hits.
Heaven and Hell.
Eddie Trunk, host of That Metal Show, shared his thoughts on one of metal's greatest voices.
So many amazing memories with Ronnie, years of radio and TV stuff that I did with him. One of my most recent memories is just down the street from where we are. I did an interview with him when he was really ill, when he was battling his illness at a restaurant just down the street for some bonus features on the Heaven and Hell DVD, and he was still in great spirits. And still was just phenomenal to talk to as usual. Total pro right to the end.
At Friday's event and Sunday's event, there were auctions with proceeds going to the Ronnie James Dio Stand Up and Shout Cancer Fund. One of the prizes was a guitar signed by Lita Ford and former Sabbath and Heaven and Hell drummer Vinny Appice.